I'm like, Mo, I'm gonna push while you in here. I'm like, you gonna deliver this baby today? I'm like, because I can't hold it together right now. I'm like, I literally have to push. Like, I'm holding my cheeks together as best as I can, but I'm about to push. Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley K. If you didn't know, there you go. Welcome back my love. So I thought, since I have her asleep, I got about 30 minutes, let me go ahead and record part 2, let you guys know part 2 of basically my labor and delivery. This is basically going to be my labor story. So basically what happened once, you know, that water broke from there on out. Like, if you already seen part 1, basically how my labor was induced naturally. It wasn't really naturally, but it was without Pitocin and being induced in the hospital. So yeah, I'm gonna hurry up and make this because she is asleep. I don't know how long she's gonna stay asleep. She's been asleep about an hour, so I think she'll probably be up in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So I'm just hurry up, get this out there. Guys, I've had a lot going on that I do have another video that I'm gonna drop basically about. I'm sorry y'all, I'm looking out the window because somebody's by my car and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is they doing by my car. But anyways though, so yeah, the AC just went off perfect so y'all can hear me. I did do a part 1 of basically how I went into labor. If you haven't watched that one, watch that one so you know what's going on here on out, because I'm not going to basically address everything that I mentioned in that video. So just to basically jump right in, y'all. Oh, like I was saying, I've been having issues with my daughter's skin. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. I know I've been getting everybody say it's normal, it's baby acne, it's baby eczema, it's all this newborn rash, all this stuff. I'm going to drop a video on that because I do need advice, and I am testing out a couple products to see if I can get it going myself, because her pediatrician was just like, give it some time to go away on its own. But me personally, I'm not with it. Like, I can't stand seeing my baby face like this. And no, it's not bothering her, but it's bothering me. So just to jump right in, let's get to it, y'all. If you watched the part 1 video, basically I told y'all how I was induced, how I went into labor. So once we got to the hospital, y'all, so once my water had broken everything, you know, I told my boyfriend, even though he was right there, and basically I'm gonna say he broke my water, y'all. But y'all, after my water broke, we got everything. I had already had everything packed, I just didn't have it in the car yet. So everything was in the living room. And so soon as I felt it break, y'all, I took my clothes off because I'm like, I can't go to the hospital with these wet clothes on. So I get out of the wet clothes that I had on. We get in the car. We're rushing to the hospital, y'all. Like, my boyfriend is doing about 100 down the highway because we got to get there. Like, not saying that the baby was gonna come like right there in the car, because no, because when I got there, like I mentioned in the last video, I was only 2 centimeters at the doctor's appointment that morning. When I got to the hospital, I was only 3 centimeters. So I hadn't moved nowhere. Even though my labor was quick and easy, but yeah. So we rush into the hospital. I'm calling my mom's and I'm like, yeah, it's go time. My water just broke. Like, it's go time. And she's like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. And she's like, well, I'm at work right now. She was like, I'm going to get off early and come down there, whatever, da-da-da-da. She was like, because I'm pretty sure she won't be here anytime soon. Like, she'll probably be here tonight, but not, like, this morning. She was like, so I'll be there before she gets here. And I'm like, okay, no problem. But I'm just letting her know ahead of time. Then I called the hospital because my nurse that I had talked to that morning, as I mentioned in the other video, I had called my nurse to let them know that I was contracting. She told me when my water actually breaks, call the hospital, let them know that I was on my way. So I'm calling the hospital and I'm letting them know, hey, I'm on my way, so they can already have a room ready, have what I need in the works. Okay, so when I get there, no questions asked. Put me in triage, see what I'm doing, how I'm progressing, and put me in a room. So I'm calling them. They're like, okay, we're here. We'll be waiting on you when you get here. So when I got to the hospital, Mind y'all, I had did a tour on the hospital and what to do when you get there, and you know where to check in, this, that, and the third. I had did all of that like a month ahead of time, but once I got to the hospital, y'all, I wasn't even thinking about any of that. All I knew was to tell my boyfriend, you can drop me off right here, because that was the one thing that I remember. They said we didn't have to go park. We can actually leave our car in the front, get everything out, put on our hazards light, get everything out, park in the front, and then after you get situated and everything, then you can move your car. That was the one thing I remember, because I was not finna walk from the parking deck. So I'm telling him, because he's like trying to go park. I'm like, no. I am in labor. This is labor and delivery area. So, but it's like people behind us, and I'm sitting here telling him I don't care. Like, they'll have to go around. Okay, they'll have to go around, and they'll just have to wait, because that was the one thing I remember. They told me that, you know, we park here, we get everything out, get me inside. Okay, get me inside, because right now I wasn't in pain. Like, the contractions were like back to back to back to back. They were a good like 5-7 minutes apart. So, you know, I could function and move and stuff, but it was like when the contraction came, don't talk to me right now. Hold up, give me a minute, let me breathe. So I'm just letting him know, like, no, like, I'm not walking, because I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to the front door. So we put our hazard light on the car, whatever. Let me out the car. I mean, well, he gets out the car with me, you know, take me up with my bag and stuff, just in case, you know, I get a room before he come up. Not knowing what they were going to do. But he went up with me. You know, we left the car there, and he went up with me. Just, you know, put me in a wheelchair, wheel me up, because I wasn't walking. So we get there, and we're going through all of that. There is cars behind us. I don't care. I don't give not one damn. So we get inside, and there's a lady sitting. I don't know if you've been to the hospital recently since COVID and everything, but there's usually at the hospitals where I live, there are people sitting like right in the front before you can even go in the building. I mean, would like go in and like sit down or roam around. There's people sitting right there at a table with the little petitions up, whatever you want to call them. And as soon as you walk in, they ask you the little questions. Have you been around anybody with COVID within the past 14 days? Blah, blah, blah. They ask you all them questions. I'm not even in the mood for all of that. Like, I'm like, lady, I'm in labor. Like, but she's like, we have to ask you these questions. We have to this. I'm like, all right. Like, I'm just so agitated, because it's like, why do I have to go through this? You see I'm in pain. Like, you see what I'm going through right now. But I was like, okay, whatever. So she give us a little sticker that say we was screened or whatever. And I'm like, okay, which way we go? Because at this point, I'm lost. I just knew to come here to this entrance. Now I need to know, how do I get upstairs to labor and delivery floor? So she tells us, you know, straight down, up the elevator, whatever the case may be. So we're going to get on the... Hold on, y'all. So y'all might notice that it's a little dark, the light, and isn't really too good, because I thought it was the sun was out for a little bit. That's why I was like, let me hurry up and record this video while the sun is out. But now it's a little gloomy, and it looks like it's about to storm. So yeah, sorry y'all for the lighting, so sorry. And I don't know where I put the ring light to. Yeah, but anyways, so she tells us how to get there, whatever the case may be. So that's what we do. We follow her directions. We get on the elevator. There's a man on the elevator, and there's 2 other nurses on the elevator, and I think that's it. And I guess the man, he was already going to the labor and delivery floor. I guess he had his wife, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, was in there giving labor. So he was like, I already know where y'all going. So he hit the floor. We're going up. But then the two nurses, they get on, they're like, oh, we're going to the same floor too. So everybody knew I was in labor. I'm in this elevator, and I'm breathing. Like, every time I get a contraction, I'm breathing. That's all I remember to do, was to breathe. And at that point, it was like, I can do it. I can do this naturally. This isn't bad, you know? Like, this isn't bad at all. So I'm breathing through every contraction. We get up to the labor and delivery floor. We have to check in with somebody else now. And I'm like, God dang, like, why do I have to check in with so many people? So we check in with somebody else at this point, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to triage, you know, get you checked in, check you out, see how far you're dilated. She was like, give you your COVID test, you know, because they had to check me for COVID. If I had COVID, it could only be me and my boyfriend in the room, but because I didn't have COVID, I could have visitors. So yeah, so they get me in there, they're checking me, and they're asking me, you know, epidural, or is there any pregnancy complications we should know about, whatever the case may be. So they're asking me all these questions, and they say when you're like in active labor, you're not able to talk through a contraction. So I was fine to talk through a contraction, it just hurt, y'all. It was a little painful, okay? It was a little painful. So I'm sitting there, and she's telling me, you know, to lay down and relax. I couldn't lay down and relax. I had to be moving. Like, my body had to be moving. I could not lay anywhere and just lay there and go through a contraction. So I stands up. I stands up. I got the little hospital gown on. I'm hooked up to all this machine and shit. So it's hard to move around, but I'm like, I can't just lay there. Okay, I need to be swaying my hips. That was the only thing that made it feel better, was swaying my hips. Or that was really the only thing that worked, because walking around didn't work. I had to like move, like literally move my pelvis side to side. So that's what I got up and I started doing that. And y'all, we gonna get into the epidural of natural. I'm gonna do a video on that as well. But yeah, so we were in triage for about, I say we were in there for about 2 hours, because they're like, we're waiting on a room to be available, whatever the case may be. I'm like, y'all ain't got no rooms. But I mean, my doctor had already told me before, you know, I even went into labor, they're like, if you do have to be induced, you have to be put on a wait list, because they don't really have that many rooms, because everybody's getting induced. So I'm like, so when is a room gonna be ready? Because I was just uncomfortable in the triage room. I don't know what it was, but I was just very uncomfortable in there. And I wanted to get in the room. I needed space, because the triage room, it was so small, y'all. Like, it was so tiny, and I just felt claustrophobic in there. And I'm just like, I need a room. I need a room where I can move more, where I can go in the bathroom as I please, you know, because the triage room, it didn't have a bathroom. You had to go out the hallway and go to the bathroom. So it was just too much. So about 2 hours went by, and I'm you know, I'm still having my contractions, but they're not like back to back. Like, they're still 5 to 7 minutes. So she checked me. She's like, okay, you're dilated 3 centimeters. And I'm like, and they're like, we're gonna call your doctor and see, you know, if she wants you to stay or go back home and wait, you know, wait it out a little bit. And I'm just like, why would I wait it out a little bit? But at the same time, I'm like, I would like to go back home, but I don't want to take that chance, because how am I supposed to know how far I'm dilated and if she's coming or not? So no, we're gonna stay. So we finally get a room, y'all. As soon as we get the room, and let me just shout out to my nurse. My nurse, her name was Mo. I forget her like real name, but her name was Mo. And y'all, she was the bomb. Like, my whole care team was the bomb. I met 2 nurses that were named Ashley. My name is Ashley. My doctor, I had been seeing her for 9 months, so I already knew she was bomb. Even though I had to see both my doctors, because one of them, my first doctor, she was there, but then she was leaving, because she's like, you know, my shift is over, so the other OB is going to come in. She was like, she's going to take care of you. So I had both of them. They're bomb.com. My nurses were bomb.com. Mo, the one who was there with me the whole entire time I was in labor, checking on me, you know, giving me my eyes, you know, the nurse that was actually taking care of you the whole time. That one nurse that's with you the whole entire labor. She was bomb.com. Shout out to her. She was a black nurse. You know, that's just me personally. I just feel so comfortable having a, you know, someone who can relate to me, even though she didn't have children. Because I asked her, I was like, do you have any children? She was like, no. And I'm like, well, I can't even, you know, ask you how it went for you. So, but she was bomb. I loved her. I told her I was gonna come see her before I left the hospital, but y'all, when it was time to leave the hospital, I was ready to leave the hospital. Especially my boyfriend. We we was not feeling it staying the night at the hospital. But we had to do it for the safety of baby Ayla. So when we get in our room, y'all, it's bomb. We go in there and we like, ooh, this all you, y'all. It was nice. It was nice, no lie. It was huge. First of all, it was huge. Like, cause they had the baby set up where her crib, where bassinet and everything was, because with the COVID, they do not take the babies out the room at all. The baby stays with you the entire time. So they had her area, they had my little area where I'm laid with the equipment and everything to monitor me. Then they had, you know, the couch and the pull-out bed where my boyfriend could be. They had the jacuzzi bathtub in the bathroom, big old bathroom, y'all. It was just real nice. It was just real nice. So we got in there, y'all, and I was in pain. I was in pain. But my nurse, she was really like helping me through that pain. Like, she was telling me, breathe, okay? She was like, every time you get a contraction, breathe. She was like, deep breath in and let it out as it's going. So y'all, and that worked. Like, when you breathe through a contraction, it's not that bad. Like, it's really not sorry, it's really not that bad. So that's what I kept doing. Every time I would get a contraction, you know, they could see it on their little monitor when you're contracting. So she's like, okay, you're getting another contraction. She was like, breathe. I breathe, and she's like, breathe through your back, okay? Use your back to breathe. So that's what I'm doing, y'all, and it was working. So I'm in labor for like quite a bit of time. No, I was in labor for what, like 14 hours. I didn't have really a long labor as I thought it was gonna be, because they kept telling me, you know, when it's time to push, it's gonna take like 2-3 hours for you to push her out. And I'm just like, 2-3 hours? And they're like, yeah, it usually takes that long for first time moms, whatever the case may be. I'm just like, oh hell no. So it gets to the point where my contractions aren't like speeding up, where they're coming back to back to back to back. They were stuck at a 5 to 7 minute range. Like, they wouldn't get closer. So they did actually give me synthetic oxytocin, which is Pitocin, to actually like speed and strengthen my make my contractions stronger so I can dilate more quickly. Because they came and checked me one time and they were like, okay, you're 8 centimeters and something effaced, and they, you know, the little technical words they use with your labor, and they're saying all of this, and I'm like, so how long is this gonna take? And my nurse, she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm using my hands. My nurse, she was like, we should have a baby by 6 o'clock this evening. She was like, yeah. She was like, if you progress how you're supposed to, she was like, we can have a baby by tonight. And I'm like, okay. And y'all, my boyfriend had went out to go get, so he went to go get something. I think he went to go get some more stuff from the house, or just get the rest of the stuff out the car. So he wasn't there, but she was like, make sure you call daddy and let him know we're gonna have a baby by 6 o'clock. So have his butt back here by 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay. But luckily he came before I even had to call him. My mom, she finally gets there, and she's there with me. And y'all, it gets to the point where I'm in so much pain, like, but the pain is in my butt, like, right TMI, but it's bright, like right in the nip of my butt, like right there on my butthole. This is TMI, I'm sorry to put it like that, but that's where I feel all the pressure, the pain, and it hurts, y'all. It hurts. My mom is there, and I'm telling her, like, yo, like, it hurts. It hurts so bad. Like, I don't even want to sit on my butt. And then, like I tell y'all, I have to rock. I have to move. So I'm sitting here rocking on the bed. My mom, she's like, breathe, like, because when the nurse leaves out, she's like, breathe. I'm telling the nurse, like, can you bring me some ice chips? Can you bring me popsicle? I had about like 15 popsicles, y'all. I was eating them popsicles up. I didn't want the ice. You know, I was an ice person during my pregnancy, but labor, I wanted popsicles. I needed flavor. I needed a popsicle. So every time she would come in there, she's like, you need anything? Yeah, I think she's waking up. I'm like, yeah, can you bring me a popsicle? So I'm sitting here having popsicles back to back to back to back to back. Hold on, y'all. She might wake up. So yeah, y'all, I was having popsicles back to back to back. That's all I wanted was popsicles. So I had my mom in there, y'all, and I told my mom, I was like, can you come massage my butt? Like, can you please just massage my butt? So she comes over there and she's massaging like the top of my butt, you know, like right there where your arch at. Like, she's massaging like my back, basically the top of my back, a little bit on my cheeks. I'm like, no, I need you to get your hands. This is so TMI, y'all, but I needed something. I'm like, I need you to get your hands, put it like right there in between my butt and massage. Okay, I need you to massage my butt. So she does it, y'all. And it's my mom. Who cares? You know, if my boyfriend was there, I would have told him massage my butt. So, but when he gets there, you know, I asked him to do something too. You know, at this point, I need everybody helping me. Help me through this right now. So my mom's massaging my butt. It's feeling a little bit better, but I still feel it. It's still hurting. And she's trying to massage me, and I'm still trying to rock. Well, I'm like this, so I'm rocking while she's trying to massage me on the back. I have my boyfriend. I'm like, can you fan me? Get a fan, get something. I'm hot. Fan me. So at this point, I have my mom massaging my butt. I'm rocking, and my boyfriend is fanning me, y'all. And my nurse, she's like, we're going to check and see if you've dilated anymore, or whatever the case may be. At this point, when she says this, it's probably around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. When she says this, I'm like, I feel like I have to boo-boo, like. And she was like, that's good. That means you're feeling like you need to push. And I'm like, yeah. She was like, but do not. She was like, do not push. She was like, do not do anything. She was like, hold it together. So, y'all, at this point, I'm squeezing my cheeks together because, y'all, the feeling that I had, like, I could not hold it together. I could not hold it together. I held it together long enough. I held it together long enough until they was like, okay, it's time to push. But they're like, let's check. They check, and they're like, okay, you're 9 centimeters dilated. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm like, can we push now? She's like, no, we need 10 centimeters. We need 10. I'm like, yo, do you not understand? Like, I can literally, like, feel like I have to push right now. Like, it feels like I have to boo-boo, but she's like, no, that's because of how your daughter's head is laying. Because when they checked down there, it was like, oh, her head is right here. When they were saying I was 9 centimeters, it's like, I can feel her head. They're like, her head is literally right here, like, she's ready to come. And I'm like, well, why can't I push? And they're like, no, because you can tear. She was like, we don't want you to tear, so let's just wait till you're actually 10 centimeters. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So she was like, let's wait. I remember her. She was like, let's wait to 6:30. She was like, 6:30. She was like, I'm not even gonna check you again. We just gonna start pushing. She was like, can you hold on for the next 30 minutes? I think it was like 30 minutes. So I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, put on the timer. Somebody put a timer on to let me know when 30 minutes is up. But I have a clock right in front of me, so I'm watching the clock anyway. So finally, she comes back in there, and I'm like, can we push now? And she was like, is it 6:30? And I'm like, hell, damn near. We only got like 5 minutes. She was like, we gotta wait on the doctor to get here. And I'm like, you telling me 6:30, but we gotta wait on the doctor? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm telling my nurse, I'm like, Mo, I'm gonna push while you in here. I'm like, you gonna deliver this baby today? I'm like, because I can't hold it together right now. I'm like, I literally have to push. Like, I'm holding my cheeks together as best as I can, but I'm about to push. I am about to push. And she was like, no. She was like, I am not delivering that baby. And I'm like, Mo, we about to deliver this baby together. And she was probably like taking me as a joke, but y'all, I was dead ass serious. Like, I'm about to push. Finally, my doctor, she comes to the door. I was like, you made it. I was the happiest person in the world. I'm like, finally. I'm like, come on. I'm like, I'm about to push. And she was like, no, because she had to put on her shoes and, you know, put everything on that she has to put on in order to come and be down there looking at me and stuff. So she was like, let me get all my stuff on. She was like, let me get my uniform and my equipment on. I'm like, I'm about to push. And she was like, no. She was like, you better not push. Do not push. And I'm like, yo, why y'all keep telling me this? And I was like, do you have to check me again to see if I'm 10 centimeters? And they basically told me to open up my legs so they could see. So I opened up my legs, and everybody's, you know, down looking and see if they can see her head. Everybody's like, her head is right there. Like, soon as you push, she's going to come straight out. Like, her head is literally right there. And my boyfriend, he's like, oh my God. She was like, I can literally see her head. Like, and he takes a picture. He's like, her head is right there, babe. Like, I can see her head. And I'm just sitting here like, what can I push? And they're like, no, not yet. So they sit here and they're talking me through how to push. They're like, okay, every time you get a contraction, take a deep breath, push. She was like, every contraction you get, we're going to push. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do this. All right, let's do this. So when it was finally time to push, y'all, I'm probably going to have to get her because she's making a lot of noise over there. Okay, I'm gonna make this quick. But when it was finally time to push, y'all, when I say I pushed with everything in me, because I know that all they said was when you push, put your chin to your chest and push. So I did it, and they was, y'all, I only pushed like 3 times. They had counted to 10 like 3 times, because they was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, breathe. Push again, 1, 2. So I only pushed 3 times and she was out. And that was in a matter of what, like 2 minutes. 2 minutes and she was out, y'all. And they were talking about some 2-3 hours. You're gonna have to push and then she'll be out. No, 3 pushes, 3 sets of 10, and she was out, y'all. She was out. And the little pain that I was feeling in my butt just went away. Everything just, and that's the amazing feeling about it. Like all that pain that you're feeling when you're in labor, once that baby is out, it's like your whole body just releases all that, and it just feels so relaxed. Like, and once I pushed her out, y'all, like I'm reaching for my baby. Like, where's my baby? Like, hand me my baby. She came out crying, so it wasn't like I had to worry about if she was crying or not. She was ready to come out because she was sitting on my butt that whole time I was in labor. Like, well, she was positioned to where it was putting pressure on my butt. So she was ready to come out the whole time, y'all. She was ready. It was go time. She was low. I know they said her head was a little like tilted some way that they wanted to see if they could get her turned. I'm like, no, we can't do that. She's gonna have to come out. So I actually did rip. I did tear. She sewed me back up. I had to get like, I don't know, like 5-6 stitches. I did tear because of how she came out, and yeah, that was nothing. You know, them sewing me up. I felt it. But it wasn't that bad because I really wasn't worried about what she was doing. I was really focused on my daughter at the time, but I could feel it, and I'm telling her, you know, I'm tensing. I'm like, ooh, ooh. But at the same time, I'm just paying more attention to my daughter at that point. So her umbilical cord was short. And y'all, I was sitting here like reaching for like, okay, give her here. And they're like, wait, they're like, hold on, wait. You have a short umbilical cord. They was like, so wait, we gotta cut it off first and then we can hand it to her. So I'm like, okay. And then when they finally laid that baby in my hands, y'all, in my arms, y'all, it was the greatest feeling in the entire world. Like, because she's reaching for my face, she's like touching my face, y'all. It was the best feeling. Like, if I have that video, I would definitely insert my video and my pictures in here. But hey, you trying to reach for my face? That's what you trying to do? You trying to reach for my face? It was just absolutely amazing, y'all. The greatest delivery, labor and delivery ever. I'd do it all over again if I had to, but it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I wish I could have vlogged it, but my mental was just out of it. Like, I really wasn't worried about turn the camera on, do this, do that. Especially, you know, being the first time, I was trying to make sure I have everything in place, okay? We're doing this. I wanted to have my support system there. So it really wasn't like I was focused on putting it out. But y'all, next go round, if there's a next go round, definitely I know what to look forward to, and I'll definitely vlog that for you all, y'all. She is waking up. So that's basically my labor and delivery story. After I was after she had got here, we did skin to skin. They say for an hour, y'all. We did skin to skin for about 2 hours. She did skin to skin with me, then she did it with her dad, then she came back to me for like another hour, and we were in that labor and delivery room for probably about 3 hours after I had already gave birth, because they were waiting on a room for us to go to. So yeah, and then they showed me how to latch her on for breastfeeding and everything, and y'all, she latched right on, okay? she latched right on. No issues. I know people say they have issues with their child latching on in the beginning, but y'all, she didn't give any issues at all. She latched right on. She was eating and everything. So it was amazing. It was amazing. We finally got to our room. Our room wasn't as big as our labor and delivery room, but I didn't mind. It was just more comfortable than being, you know, it was more comfortable. Let me just put it like that, because we have her in there. We have a little personal bed. Like, yeah, it wasn't all of that, but it was comfortable for the 2 days that we had to stay. So yeah, we did stay at the hospital for 2 days. We did stay at the hospital. Yeah, I don't know if she's boo-booing or if she's getting up. I don't know. But I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for my next story times and basically my updates on life now with a newborn. Yeah, I definitely have more story times for y'all. As I mentioned, I have been having skin problems with her. Well, baby acne, what every baby gets, but I'm gonna show y'all the process I'm going through to get her skin together without just waiting on it to go away. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't think I'll have a part 3 to it, because that was basically it, y'all. I went home 2 days later. She was perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. She still is perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. She came out 6 pounds, 2.8 ounces. She was 19 inches long, and she was born at 6:49 p.m. on March. Listen to me, March. That's my boyfriend's birth month. On August 12th, 2021. Sorry, y'all. I'm just so ready to get her. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you got it this far in the video, thumbs up the video. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you know every time I post. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Love you.